we've exposed how President Barack Obama and his re-election team are attempting to divide you, the American people, in order to remain in office for what would likely be another 4 grueling years of economic distress and international uncertainty. Now, before we leave you, I want to share some closing thoughts on what has become the dirtiest election in our history. Now, as I mentioned at the start of this hour, yes, we have heard some of this rhetoric from the left in years past: class warfare, scare tactics, flat-out distortions, and, of course, the race card. These were not invented yesterday. But what makes 2012 so different is that, unlike any other in recent memory, the Obama campaign has displayed a willingness to implement each one of those elements into this year's re-election strategy.
You got their plan, which is, let's have dirtier air, dirtier water, less people with health insurance.
And today I want to talk to you about the idea that everyone in this country should do their fair share. Some see this as class warfare. I see it as a simple choice.
Either Mitt Romney, through his own words and his own signature, was misrepresenting his position at Bain to the SEC, which is a felony, or he was misrepresenting his position at Bain to the American people.
When Mitt Romney and Bain closed the plant, I lost my health care, and she passed away in 22 days. I do not think Mitt Romney realizes what he's done to anyone. And furthermore, I do not think Mitt Romney is concerned.
Let's be real clear about it. Mitt Romney is speaking to a group of people out there who don't like folks like President Barack Obama in any elective or leadership position. He's speaking to that fringe out there who do not want to see anybody other than a white person in a leadership position.
Now, that vitriol, standing by itself, often goes unrecognized by the average American, especially when members of the mainstream media serve as unpaid surrogates to a presidential campaign. But when such mistruths and hate speech are combined into a comprehensive re-election handbook, well, it's difficult to turn a blind eye to them. And the key question that we've got to ask tonight is, will the voters allow gutter politics to prevail in such a consequential election? Now, to find that answer, let's take a look back. In 2008, candidate Barack Obama claimed to be an advocate of hope and change, a proponent of changing the culture of Washington. Now, see if you can recognize this man.
What our campaign has been about is offering some specific solutions to how we move these issues forward and identifying the need to change the culture in Washington, which we haven't talked at all about. That, I think, is the job of the next president of the United States. That's what I intend to do. That's why I'm running.
Now, that was his pitch, and he threw a strike by securing a majority of independent voters and winning the election. But 4 years earlier, Democrats nominated a man who was the quintessential Washington insider, one who was willing to change his position on anything to get elected.
I actually did vote for the $87 billion before I voted against it.
Now, George W. Bush famously declared that comment entered John Kerry into the flip-flop Hall of Fame, and he was right. Evolving on critical issues like national defense in order to appeal to the base does not resonate with the electorate. It failed Senator Kerry in 2004, and it will fail President Obama this November. After all, he's done a 180 on countless issues, from closing Gitmo to allowing lobbyists to work inside his White House and beyond. He even voted against increasing America's debt limit as senator, that is, until he supported raising it as president. So hope and change works, flip-flopping and pandering, not so much. Now, let's rewind another 4 years where we watched as Al Gore ran a campaign based on flat-out distortions. At every turn, his knee-jerk reaction was to either mislead voters about his opponent or, even worse, he resorted to flat-out lies to prop himself up. Here's what he said when he was asked why Democrats should nominate him in the year 2000.
I've traveled to every part of this country during the last 6 years. During my service in the United States Congress, I took the initiative in creating the Internet.
Now, obviously, that was an utterly baseless claim, and it was far from the only one that was made by our former vice president. But it serves as a valuable example that stretching the truth will not help you win an election. Sure, hope and change, it did hoodwink enough voters back in 2008, but that soaring rhetoric no longer scrolls on the president's teleprompters. And like his predecessors, who attempted to win the White House based on the politics of division, Barack Obama and his unprecedented smear campaign may soon be on the outside of the White House, looking in at a Romney administration. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Hannity's America, and I hope you have a great night.